And we're back for round 2. Ryan Johnsen.
2. Zach Weasel.
Coming at you from Dayton Magic Club website.com, the DMC broadcast crew here on Friday Night Magic at the Game Haven in Riverside, Ohio.
The most for your games.
Indeed. You certainly do. So, round 1 was pretty exciting. We saw 2 kind of decks that had been developed and unveiled here for the first time.
Definitely.
Junk Midrange managed to take it over Black-Red Control. Dave Martin was our winner.
Yeah. I feel like Bruce didn't really get to see a lot of the meat of the deck, really.
I would have liked to have seen more of Bruce's cards. I would have liked to have been able to see more of what he was playing in that particular list, but that's the past, and now we are here in round 2. The future is unfolding before us as we speak. We have Cassie LeDuc on your left. On your right, we have Nick Bowen. And I'm not 100% sure what either player is playing. We scouted between rounds. Did not catch these guys. Did not catch these guys. So we'll be learning right along with you. Cassie's really been looking for a deck.
I'm going to call it. I think I saw a Sphinx's Revelation when Cassie was shuffling.
Okay.
But I could be full of shit.
That's possible. Cassie's been sort of trying some different decks out, so I don't know if she's really settled out. Looks like blue-white control to me.
Definitely. I saw Azorius Charms.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to see on the left-hand side of the screen.
Okay.
And we're going to get the deck list name. I mean, there's not really... No?
Well, all right, for the deck list contest, Maggie's is
if you've ever met her, that sounds very classic Maggie.
And we will see what... I have no idea what Nick Bowen's playing. I know he has been playing.
I'm going to call green-black because I think I played him last week.
Yeah, he was definitely playing a big green variant, so it looks like that is what he is on tonight, possibly as well. This deck is good, the big green one. We were talking about that last round, how we've seen some of those locally around here, the Pulchronos decks.
Definitely.
And it's some variant of that. Last time I saw it, it was mono green maybe, but it may have been green-blue.
Yeah, I played him twice recently since the release of Theros, and one time it was mono green. Pretty sure the other time it was black green.
Okay. Cassie leads with
basic
Island Go.
The best card in Magic.
It's a pretty good island too. That is an Elvish Mystic.
Looks like missing the second land.
Nope.
Never mind. It looks like he motioned to go.
It did, but here we are. Players just setting up here. I imagine the next turn or two from Nick will be fairly explosive. That is, I'm not 100% sure. Is that a Sylvan Cargotid? Perhaps our spotter could let us know what Nick just played there. Colonian Tusker. Yeah, for the Devotion.
Definitely
for
a solid card.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely very good in these Nykthos decks, where it does up and there is in fact Nykthos, which is breaks even this turn. It is takes 3 lands and makes 3 mana.
Is the activation cost
2?
Oh, I see. Yeah, not anymore. Definitely, it will get there next turn.
Yep.
Oh, never mind. We saw that definitely did not happen. I can't see what counterspell that is.
I would imagine if it cost 3 mana that it was probably a whatever that new counterspell is. Oh, main deck Essence Scatter. I like main deck Essence Scatter in this format.
Definitely with the Game Haven metagame being super aggressive, Essence Scatter is a strong card.
And just in general, I think in the format right now with the creatures being so good, that I think it is a very good choice.
I mean, definitely Wizards has been printing stronger and more aggressive creatures, so keeping cards like Essence Scatter available in Standard is basically, it's necessary.
Absolutely, I agree.
Can't not have it.
Cassie under the gun a little bit here. She's at 13 life, staring down 4 damage, but not anymore. I'll tell you what is a good card against these Devotion decks.
Definitely Supreme Verdict.
Supreme Verdict is a pretty good card against these Devotion decks. It just kneecaps them in so many ways. However, the thing is, once he has natural 5 mana, which he does right now, he can start just casting these super huge threats one at a time.
Bombs every turn. And that is that Nylea?
That looks like Nylea, which would have been real good without that Supreme Verdict. As it is just fine. It gives him a little inevitability.
Definitely. And I mean, Supreme Verdicts, if he doesn't hit Devotion, Supreme Verdicts are just going to be
Divination.
they're going to be good, but they're not going to be as great because that Nihilea is just going to stick on the board.
Right. How do you feel about Divination? There is a Detention Sphere, which is a very good answer to the gods. I like Divination a lot in these decks.
There's a lot of cards right now that draw cards. Divination's definitely not a bad card.
That is
okay.
Big Garruk.
It's definitely a Garruk.
Garruk, Caller of Beasts. That Detention Sphere looks pretty good right now.
Definitely.
But I'm sure the deck plays many Detention Spheres. But Garruk reveals Nykthos, which is not great, and then it kind of goes off the camera there.
And definitely, there's a third land there. I didn't get the...
A Mistcutter Hydra, our spotter informs us, which is pretty good in this particular matchup.
Yeah.
Cannot be Azurius Charmed, and can just kind of throw down. That Nykthos, by the way, is... Big Garruk costs 2 green, so still a break-even at this point, not netting any positive mana quite yet. But rebuilding pretty nicely after that Wrath effect with a Big Garruk to really refill the hand.
I'm wondering why we didn't see a Jace from... she must be holding back some counter magic.
Yeah.
Really expecting some big cards this turn.
Absolutely. Staring down an active Garruk in this deck is so scary that I imagine you want to be able to... he's a little bottlenecked on mana. I mean, obviously he has like 7 mana, but for this deck, that is a little bottlenecked. What he really wants is to get the Wombo combo of a lot of green mana symbols in play, Nykthos and Garruk, to really turn that into a huge board presence. And he's definitely developing that, but he's not there quite yet.
He definitely just revealed some great cards to make that game plan happen.
Absolutely. And I mean, you as the control player, Cassie is staring at an opponent who's drawing 3 cards a turn.
Yeah.
That's tough. That Garruk's going to need an answer, and it's going to need it pretty fast. I don't even know what his ultimate does. It searches your library for a creature and puts it in play or something?
I mean, when you're drawing 3 cards a turn, who even really cares what the ultimate does?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it happen. Usually he just draws 1,000,000 cards.
Drawing 3 cards a turn for more than like 2 turns is called winning the game.
Yep. That was a...
Looks like another Essence Scatter?
Yep.
Yeah. Nope.
Oh, it's a Dissipate.
Dissipate, yeah.
So, Cassie hasn't
Just
really
drew a Detention Sphere,
developed her board, but then again, she doesn't necessarily want to. That Detention Sphere is going to do a lot of work here. However, Garruk's damage might be done. I think he's drawn 5 cards.
I believe so,
Over
but I
2
also
turns.
did see a Supreme Verdict in her hand, so she can completely wipe his board. But she's going to elect to play a Jace instead.
All right.
Not a bad call, considering he doesn't have currently any really board presence as far as aggression.
Jace +1, the Detention Sphere guy, is pretty good.
Definitely a good turn.
Jace is a great way to start making back some of those cards you're down.
Oh, definitely.
And with the board being as it is right now, he is not under any danger. And I believe she has removal to protect him once he commits to the board in order to kill the Jace.
She does have a
However,
Supreme Verdict in hand.
that is a Mistcutter Hydra, which is fairly effective at Jace. I don't think it is lethal to Jace. No, Mistcutter is not attacking.
It doesn't have haste, does it? I thought it has flash.
Oh, maybe it does. I thought it had haste.
It has green haste, I believe. I can look it up real quick.
Okay. So there's the Supreme Verdict. Oh, it's the other Hydra. Okay, gotcha.
Not a bad Hydra.
No,
just not
I saw
what you
tokens on a
wanted.
Hydra, so that's why I thought Mistcutter. So that here we see the combination of Jace plus Wrath of God, or Supreme Verdict in this case, that's so powerful in these control decks. You +1 Jace, which makes it so they have to commit more creatures to the board to kill him. And then once they do that, you clean them all up with a Supreme Verdict.
Yeah.
And now she's starting to make back these cards she was down. You know, your opponent has drawn 5 more cards than you, but you've 3-for-1'd him twice.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to see that parity. With that said, Nick still has a lot of cards in his hand.
Definitely. One of the downsides to the big green decks is that you can overreach, and sometimes you can just get blown away by mass removal.
Absolutely.
That's the big downside, but sometimes you just annihilate your opponents.
Yes, absolutely. Sometimes you win on turn 5 very easily. So
we're seeing a...
Perhaps our spotter could let us know what just got played there.
We're seeing
Experiment 1 into a Witch Stalker. Okay.
A Witchstalker main board, that's surprising. Usually you would see that on the sideboard, but I mean, it does have 2 green mana symbols and hexproof, which is very good. Another Supreme Verdict does clear the board, though.
Oh, Reverend Hunter. That's something that Nick has been playing to a lot of success. Very good in these decks.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the old Dungrove Elder. But now we start to see Jace do his best fact or fiction impression. And Cassie's starting to really to put her foot down here on this particular game. Nick is really, after those 3 Supreme Verdicts and 2 Detention Spheres, has really started to really run out of gas.
I'm pretty sure I saw in Cassie's hand a Aetherling quite early in the game, and that's really what she wants to see here in the next couple turns to really just put this game away.
And there's definitely a Sphinx's Revelation in her hand as well.
I think there's 2. Actually.
So we're going to start to see the game. Yep, here comes the first one. It is for 4. We're going to start to see the game transition into the way that the blue-white control player likes to set up these games, where you counter a couple key spells, you Supreme Verdict on time, and then your late game is so much more powerful than what everyone else is doing.
Definitely.
As long as you can get there, it's really hard to lose. So that is I want to say a Burnished Heart, but that seems very strange to me. It seems like a good. Yeah, give us the full name of the card.
Just to comment earlier, Mistcutter Hydra does have haste. It does not have green haste. And it is pro-blue, and it cannot be countered.
That's a very good card. Pretty good. Joe, could you give us the full name of that card so we can look it up? I'm not 100% sure what it is.
It's a B.
I think it's a Burnished Heart. Yeah, it is. That's the one you can sack to fetch lands out of your deck.
Burnished Heart costs 3 mana. It is a 2/2 elk artifact creature. And you can search for 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield tapped.
I like it.
That is
it's good in these control decks. It blocks.
Yeah.
And it definitely... Because one of the things that I don't like about the blue control deck, one of its weaknesses, is it's a deck that's bad if you miss your 7th land drop.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it wants to hit a land drop every turn, like, basically for the entire game.
Yeah.
And so you're not happy hitting your first 5 land drops. You got to hit your first 7 land drops, your first 8 land drops. Burnished Heart seems like a great way to ensure that's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely with it being a 3-drop, it definitely it can get you up there in lands. Then we see an Aetherling.
There's an Aetherling. And the other thing about these decks is a lot of times in Magic's history, the control decks, we talk about turning the corner, where you're no longer the control deck, you switch to trying to close the game out.
That was right there.
And we just saw it happen. And Aetherling is one of the fastest ways to turn the corner in a control deck that they've ever printed. You go from being the control deck with no pressure on board to having a 2-turn clock.
Definitely.
It's pretty impressive.
It's a throwback to Morphling. Morphling was pretty much did the exact same thing. A little bit slower.
Yep. I would say, man, Morphling certainly never hit quite this hard.
No.
But certainly a pretty good card. Lifelink.
Just, closing the game out a little bit stronger.
Getting completely out of range. Using the hidden mode on Azorius Charm, as they say, the Lifelink mode.
I like all the modes on Azorius Charm.
It is a very powerful card.
Definitely the least played.
Yes.
The sound test. I don't know what that means.
So, the hidden mode, the sound test.
No, I get it now.
So, I say that we're about ready to call this game in favor of Cassie. We'll see if Nick has something really sweet here, but the problem is that Cassie still has untapped mana.
Colonian Hydra's going to get countered.
She plays more counter spells than is maybe normal. I think you almost have to. The threats are so good.
Yeah.
And diverse. Planeswalkers, big guys.
I mean, really, in this standard metagame, really one card, any card basically after 4 mana on the board, you can take away a game with just a single card.
Yeah.
We have a Burning Tree Emissary on the board, not really going to do much.
Nope, not against that very angry Aetherling. And playing into the bitter end, which I can respect, but I don't know if he has a top deck here that saves him.
I probably, at this point, I'd just pick it up. But, I mean, I can definitely respect playing it out.
What do we got?
Another Burning Tree Emissary. I mean, that's not really going to really going to turn much on for you.
So
I can't see what that card up there. Oh, is that Nykthos?
yeah, I think that's a Nykthos.
He's going to tap all the mana, and then he's going to mana burn himself. I wish we lived in that world. We don't.
What if you go out with dignity?
A little bit of a magic seppuku for back in the day,
Yep.
but they deemed it worthy to take that out of the game, so I won't cry about it anymore.
So Aetherling unblockable swings in, and that'll do
He's
it
going to pick him up
for game one. So I think that if you're Nick, you really hope to win game one here, because I don't think it gets any better for you after sideboarding.
I mean, he's really got to hope he's got some Mistcutter Hydras.
Mistcutter Hydra's good.
She's main decking so many Supreme Verdicts.
And a pretty good amount of counter spells, too.
Yeah. Well, Mistcutter Hydra does dodge the counter
That's
spells.
true. That's true. And you can't Tension Spirit or Azorius Charm it. But if you don't have all 4 Supreme Verdicts in game one, you definitely have all 4 after board.
Oh, definitely.
And if you don't have all 4 Detention Spheres, you definitely have all 4 after board. I think this matchup gets probably fairly ugly after board, but
really the question is how experienced is Cassie with the deck, and what does she take out? Often the problem with sideboarding is not what you put in. It's quite often easy to tell what you bring in.
Yeah.
As far as sideboarding goes, often newer players. I'm not saying she's a new player,
right?
But the biggest mistake is usually what you take out.
So, I think you take out the any counter spells that don't counter creature spells. I think that you probably take out, without knowing the exact list, you want maximum amount of sweepers.
I don't think Divination's terribly strong here, especially with Sphinx's Revelation. She didn't seem to have any trouble hitting all of her lands. And
she did divinate twice to hit all those
true.
lands. I think the divination, I think hitting all your land drops is too important to cut your card draw spells.
Looks like she's cutting the 2/2 elk.
That's possible. I think it's probably more in there for the fast aggro matchups, where this is a little bit slower, but it ends the game with much more finality. If you're Nick, you want Mistcutter Hydras if you got them. As many as you got. You want probably, man, I don't even know. You probably want to max out on your Planeswalkers.
Witchstalker, maybe?
Witchstalker's
Pro-proof?
fine. No, it's hexproof.
Hexproof.
But, so I don't know. I think this matchup is a rough one for Nick after board. I don't think it's particularly good game one either. I think his deck is very good and it's very powerful. I don't think the game's over. He can come out the gates very strong on the play.
Definitely.
Make Cassie have the Supreme Verdict on turn 4 or be dead is probably your best bet. Just really, you can't play around with Supreme Verdict. I think you got to play through it.
Yeah.
I think you got to put as much.
She did see 3, and 3 is
going to be hard to beat.
Supreme Verdicts.
I think that if she has 4 lands and 3 Supreme Verdicts every game, then you could never beat it. But
yeah,
she's not always going to have it. I think that Nick's deck is very consistent and it's very powerful. So I think you don't try to hold back from Supreme Verdict. I think you make her have it, and then hopefully make her have it again. Get her down to 10,
though.
And then put 10 power back on the board after the Wrath. I think is really the best way to play against a control deck.
I think he's going to want to see some Boon Satyrs on Elvish Mystics, maybe?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's good. I like that line a lot.
Boon Satyr is really what you want to have against Wraths. You want to play it as an enchantment and then really just swinging with your 5/3 Elvish Mystic, and then if she Wraths, you still have that 4/2 Boon Satyr, and you can get some work done with that.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that you can do with creatures being so good, which we talked about, is you can a lot of times in this modern standard that we play, you can eat the Supreme Verdict and then have untap and put lethal on board again.
Yeah, within 2 turns easily.
Especially with Boon Satyrs and your 5/5s for 4 with Monstrous and stuff that can just you're like, okay, Your Wrath, that's great. Untap, here's lethal. You have another Wrath or you're dead again.
Yeah.
You got to put the control deck in those situations as much as you can. We saw Nick try to do that with Garuk, but he didn't really have the explosive start that his
You
deck
never
is
really
capable
saw any
of.
big creatures. You never really saw any answer this creatures or you lose the game.
Right, and he definitely plays them. So you definitely want to draw more of those. If you're Cassie, you want to do what you do best, which is make your land drops, draw your Wraths. Make your land drops, draw your Wraths, close the game out with your Planeswalkers and your Aetherlings. So nothing different than we saw game one. That was a textbook blue-white control execution there. So we'll see. I think being on the play is a big deal for Nick. So
definitely.
We'll
definitely wants to hit a aggressive early mana base and get those turn 1 drop of Elvish Mystic, turn 2.
Let's get some
good.
Burning Tree Emissaries out there and nick those, and let's just go nuts.
Yeah.
So here we are, both the players drawing their openers. Cassie's hand is shuffling very quickly. I don't see a ton of land in it.
I see 2 lands.
2 land.
It's not. I mean, with draw go.
Both
control,
of them keep. That's good. No 1-drop from Nick, so we may see a big turn 2 here. That's possible.
Maybe he kept double Burning Tree. I mean, that's... Oh, no,
nope.
Pass it on turn 2.
He kept a little bit of a slower one, so we'll see.
Oh, we're seeing a Flash...
Skylasher.
Skylasher. Ooh, I love that spider.
Flash, protection from blue, reach.
Reach, yeah.
The anti-Delver card that was printed when we didn't need it anymore.
Yeah, when Delver was dead, we get the anti-Delver card.
So we kept it based maybe on hate. We may see some more Flash creatures, maybe. Maybe he's got a real... Flash creatures are good. I like Skylasher a lot. That's sweet.
I see. There is some black in the deck. Maybe he just wasn't seeing all the cards he wanted to see.
That's possible. The cards like Thoughtseize are going to shore up your control matchup quite a bit, assuming that that's what the black is there for. I assume that it's there for spot removal and Thoughtseize. I'm not sure what creatures you play.
I mean, if you can
Reaper of the Wilds is good.
Reaper of the Wilds is a good card.
Nick,
it's not seeing a lot of play in the metagame right now.
Right on time.
God knows why.
Yeah.
I'm getting an Essence Scatter Elvish Mystic.
Yeah, okay. That to me says I do not have the Wrath.
That definitely is what I'm hearing too. Get that Skylasher.
Man, that Skylasher's doing work. That's awesome. I love that Skylasher's on the board right now.
We're seeing a Witch Stalker. I mean, that's going to be...
Cassie plays a lot of counterspells. This blue-eye control is not the 2 dissolve and, Essence Scatter version. This is a lot of counterspells.
Looks like Cassie is main phasing a Azorius Charm Taylor land drop.
Did she miss it?
No, she hit the land.
Okay.
So it's... I mean, I guess that's what she wanted to do.
Yep, absolutely, and that's fine. That's what you have to do. The owner of Game Haven, Scott, just came in. He's playing tonight. He just lost his second match. He's 0-2, so it's a rough night for the store owner.
Too well. Skylasher is doing some work.
Skylasher is awesome. I'm really excited for Skylasher. I want to see a Boon Satyr on it. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what do you got?
All right. Now, I would call Nick flooded at this point. I don't know what that is. And whatever it is, it got snap countered. What it is dissolved.
It is a pile of mush.
A Reverend Hunter. Okay. Wouldn't have been the biggest Reverend Hunter in the world, but Cassie is saying, I am not... She's taking 10 points of damage from the Skylasher. She's not interested in Nick speeding up that clock.
Is that a... Shipbreaker Leviathan? Or whatever it's called?
Shipbreaker Kraken?
Whale. It's the whale.
Is that a colossal whale? No. Is it? It's a colossal whale.
That is
Cassie,
a huge whale.
Is a big fan of colossal whale. She collected she has 1 million of them. She collects them. And I'm really glad she managed to fit one in this particular deck. It's no Aetherling.
No, definitely not an Aetherling.
But not a bad finisher for all that. You know what I like about colossal whale? Is that when you know you're playing against a deck that's non-interactive, and this is definitely a deck that has no interaction, right? It's really good.
We're seeing a big Garg here.
Because
Whale it does have Island Walk, which is irrelevant here. You can exile target creature defending player controls
whenever it attacks.
And
then when it dies, they can all come back.
Yeah.
So against these like green decks that can't kill it, that actually seems pretty good.
Yeah, definitely not a bad
It's not stopping Skylasher though.
Yeah, I mean, really, at this point, Skylasher should just try and raise.
I think that's awesome.
You can't target the creature with Colossal Whale, which is important.
Yep. The Tension Sphere can't stop Skylasher, so it takes out Big Garuk. Now, what I want to see is another flash-in Skylasher block. I'm just in love with the Skylasher plan.
I mean, you could see a Mistcutter Hydra come in as a 1/1 and block 2.
Yep.
No, you can't flash in Mistcutter Hydra.
You're so convinced this card has flash.
Well, it should. That's how Green Haste is supposed to work.
Well, you can just cut through the mists.
I guess.
Let's see what he's got here.
I don't think that makes sense color wise.
That's a Witch Stalker. Resolves.
Not a bad
resolves. Card. No, it's good.
No, it
does not resolve. Instead is dissolved.
Cassie says, slow down there, Zach. Don't comment so fast.
Mm-hmm. So, what we got here?
It is a green creature.
An elf into... What is that second card you played there, Joe? Skylasher lashing in. Oh, a Tusker. Tusker. Yeah. So this leaves him with a blocker no matter what the whale eats, which I think it was his goal there. Serves in, eats the Tusker. I don't know how it works if the whale comes crashing through the forest and manages to eat that Tusker, but it might be that colossal.
It's just that big. I don't know if you've seen the movie The Croods, but I have young children, so I have seen the movie The Croods, and those whales have feet.
See also something maybe and strides onto the land. But anyway,
we do have an Aetherling on board, which is bad
Boone Satyr.
But Boone Satyr could put this away. Boom Satyr. That's pretty accurate.
That is, yep.
Oh, she's going to pick it up to Boom Satyr.
That was awesome. Skylasher did 20 points of damage. That's so good. I love that.
That was awesome. I mean, that's really what you want to do in Nick's position. You just... I mean, I hope he's playing 4 Skylashers.
I hope that
should be his game.
If he's not playing 4 Skylashers, I'm just gonna go buy all the Skylashers. That was awesome. That was super sweet.
I do have a playset, and I'm really excited about them now.
So Cassie didn't hit any Wraths there.
No.
And any of her spot removal was useless against the Skylasher. And he, because it has flash, Nick managed to sneak it in there when she was tapped out. It got down a really relevant threat and is roaded to victory. Cassie had the removal or the counterspell for like every single thing else he did, but she couldn't get that guy off the board. She couldn't draw the Wrath. So
she might be reassessing her.
Okay, I like that. He's playing Golgari Charms. That's cool. That's cool. Golgari Charms are really good in this matchup because Supreme Verdict does not say cannot be regenerated. That's very good. So if regenerate your team, it's good against the hyper aggro decks that can sometimes get under these bigger green decks.
Especially with the ever popular red deck with all the X and 1s.
Yep.
You definitely can just use it as a Wrath for black green.
Yeah, that's very good. So
instant speed even.
I'm excited to see this game 3.
Oh, definitely.
We have seen some slug outs so far in this match. So
I'm interested to see if maybe the Black Splash might also be for some Thoughtseizes in the board.
Thoughtseizes seems like if you have Thoughtseizes, this is the matchup you want them.
You definitely want it. Your life total, I mean, it doesn't really matter because once Cassie's going to kill you,
you're just going to die. Yeah, absolutely.
So you can use your life as a resource in this match if you have the ability to.
I wonder if Cassie has any big Elspeths. Because they're very good in this matchup.
You see a large portion of her deck in game 1. I try and pay close attention to her hand, but I did not see any.
I didn't see any either.
It would be a good card to bring in.
Its minus ability is just really good. And Nick's guys, while very big, are not all that evasive. So her actual ability to just clog up the ground with soldiers is potentially really relevant. Of course, Golgari Charm obsoletes that a little bit, but still. I'm curious to see. These decks usually can't afford to play too many victory conditions because you jam in so many, especially this one with so many counterspells. We've seen Colossal Whale and Aetherling. I'm thinking that it's very possible that she did not have room for the Elspeth.
I'm betting there's no Elspeth.
I wonder if there's Mutavaults. Sometimes you see them run a Mutavault or two.
I think we would have seen one if she had them game 1. She drew so many cards.
Yeah, that's true.
I think she would have wanted to put that out there as soon as possible and get a threat on the board. We didn't see that Aetherling until like the 3rd to last turn.
That's very true.
So many turns Aetherling needs.
Yep, exactly. That's how it does work. So Nick has seen enough and he's left the table.
I doubt he's dropping.
He just something he didn't like, and he's gone. So,
hopefully he can't hear me. It's not coming to throttle me.
Oh man, we got some good stuff back here in our broadcast booth here at Game Haven. Just found a copy of WWF Royal Rumble
for the Sega
Genesis by Flying Edge. That's good. It's $2.99. If you want a copy, you can come down to Game Haven and pick up your copy of Royal Rumble for $2.99. That's what we should do. We should use the streaming to shill stuff we find here in the back room.
Also, if you guys would love to take a look at the Dayton Magic Club website, we have some excellent articles.
We do.
That are up right now. We actually have an article written by moi about a community cube project that we will be hopefully unveiling in the next, I don't know how long. Could take me a year to make it. Who knows?
It's possible. Long-term project.
Definitely a long-term project.
But yeah, we'd love to get anyone who's interested, anyone who knows anything about Cube, anyone that doesn't know anything about Cube but wants to learn, anybody that's interested in Cube at all, your input on this project. I think it's going to be really cool.
Definitely. It is going to be a community cube, meaning that I am not going to make most of the decisions. I'm going to put them out there to the community, and hopefully you guys don't make a shitty cube.
Yeah.
Because I like good cubes.
We're really counting on you guys. But yeah, so that's cool. Check that out for sure. We also, if you watch the videos here, you ever come out to Game Haven, or you just are interested in checking out the full breadth of what Standard can offer, we do have a lot of content from people that are winning their local Friday Night Magic tournaments, or placing well, or just brewing to win FNMs. Our logic here is, if you're going to play locally, you might as well read locally.
Absolutely.
The local metagame is very different than the national metagame in a lot of ways. So we like to highlight the best of the local metagame if you want to do well at your local tournament. So that's really our focus, and we'd love to have your guys' content as well. So it looks like we might be joined by Jacob Ross here in the booth at some point tonight. Apparently his tournament is not going as well as he would
Mono Red is not doing it for him this week. If that's what he was playing. That's
he was playing the Patrick Sullivan version. We talked about it. Jacob Ross, a consummate red player.
I mean, if he's not playing red, you almost want to slap him.
Yeah.
He's coming.
All right. That sounds great. I'd like to hear how his how his deck is going and what he would do with it. So, and yeah. All right. Sounds good. Jacob, of course, if you've been watching the show, is a very common commentator for us. We're off. That is a Guildgate.
Guildgate. It's pretty.
Matched
the light
by
was hitting it just right.
Guildgate, perhaps.
You want to see a Skylasher this turn.
Oh,
that's
man,
exactly what you want.
So much. This card is so sweet.
Not what we're seeing. That is an overgrown tomb, I believe. Nope, that might be a Guildgate. They look pretty much the same.
They do. So we talked about how if we were Nick, we wanted a super fast start with a lot of pressure. He has not kept those hands. Looks like he is playing more of maybe a resilient threat plan.
But they are still getting countered.
Yes. I mean, I don't know.
Seeing a main phase Azorius Charm. This could really be the opening that he needs to land a threat.
Cassie missed her third land drop, so
this is really where he can take the game away.
Annihilia come down, and now she hit a third land drop. It's worth noting that she does not have double blue.
It is very important. A lot of the standard counter spells do cost double blue.
Yeah, especially as those dissolves that you saw do so much work. Both games, really.
Definitely.
We saw a lot of cards get dissolved. So we are just coming in hot.
Colonian Hydra. It's a meaty card.
It is.
It can definitely take games away unanswered.
It is. I remember that was a card people were really excited about at the beginning of this format. We really haven't seen it live up to all the hype, but man, it is just going to do some work here. I was thinking, Cassie, what she wants right there is a Azorius Charm, and she is just dead.
Yeah, Colonian Hydra can put games away literally that quickly.
Yep. It's like the green Aetherling, right?
Absolutely.
In terms of just how fast it ends games. So, we saw two really good, long, intricate games with a lot of important sequencing and threat prioritization and, making long-term plans and executing a long-term plan. And then we saw Game 3 where Cassie missed some land drops and got ran over by a Colonian Hydra.
I mean, that is definitely what you don't want to see playing blue-white control. And definitely Nick did all the gathering in that Magic game.
Absolutely. And it's just, we were talking about this, we talked about it all night, and I'm sure it'll continue to be relevant. The threats are so powerful. All it takes is one opening. I think it's hard to play control right now. If I was going to play control, I would play a version pretty close to what Cassie's playing there. A lot of counter spells, a lot of Wrath of Gods, and then fill in whatever else you can fit.
Yeah.
But man, those creatures are big.
Yeah, I mean, the threat density of most of the mid-range decks is just so high that if you miss one threat, that could be the end of the game. And that's really, as a control player, that's not what you want. I mean, you should be able to, old-style control, you could let one or two come through, take a couple hits, and still be okay. And really, with the creatures now, you can't do that. They all have to be answered, or that's pretty much the end of the game.
Yep. So, all right, he is submitting his name as Tribal Hydras. The deck is actually kind of Tribal Hydra. It plays a lot of Hydras. All right, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. A little more descriptive than truly creative, but still a good description.
I probably would have gone with something having to do with Skylasher. It's a Whale of a Tail is definitely going to be at the top of the list.
A contender. That's a good one. We saw that wood whale come crashing on through. So
I'm guessing that there was probably more than one whale named. Whale Go is an interesting concept.
Said whale. That's all I got. Your turn.
Cassie definitely plays some interesting decks. I definitely lost to her playing it was a mono green deck, but it was well over 100-something cards, and she annihilated me with it. And I don't even understand how it happened, but it was dirty and it hurt.
Yeah, well, as so many things often do and are. Oh, well, thanks for sticking with us, guys. Dayton Magic Club website.com presents FNM at Game Haven, where you get more of your games, Riverside, Ohio.
Definitely.
I'm Ryan Johnson.
And I'm Zach the Weasel.
Definitely check us out for round 3, and we are out. Thanks.
Thank you.